So I'm recording this on an Insta360 camera, which means that if you grab the video on either your computer or move around on your phone, you should be able to see various and different views. I had an op session this morning, but I've got some work to do to turn the layout over for an op session tomorrow morning. So I am just going through right now. I've got the proto throttle out, and I am working on pulling this set of cars over to the other side of the layout, and apparently something is shorting, which is always a good sign. And by always, I mean never. But, you know, it happens. It definitely happens. So we've got 30902 going on arrival departure track 2. I also need to put 30567 onto that same track. So I am just kind of working the train back and forth a little bit here. Dropping those two cars, and then I'm going to take this cut of cars and head back over to the north side of the layout. And once on the north side of the layout, I've got some other switching work to do, and I see I've apparently got a car off the track. So we're doing great so far. Good thing I turned the camera on so that you could see just how well the layout was running today, which, as you can see, we're just having all kinds of fun. That's probably why it shorted out, is because that was off the track for some reason. Okay, let's go back to our left. I'm going to move this car up onto this track here. These two cars need to stay down on this side. The way I usually turn the layout is will turn the north side first and just kind of work my way through, heading north to south, getting everything in order as I go. There might be a point in time where I'll need to grab some cars from this south end and bring them back north, but I think where the layout is at right now is that everything I need is basically in the correct spots. These are empties here that I'm going to bring up to the other side. I don't technically need to do this now. I just felt that doing that, and of course it fell off the track again. I just felt that doing this now at this point would be a good opportunity to do it, just because I was already down here, and it gave me a little chance to run these locomotives. This is basically the first time these are running on the layout. Just spent a little bit of time programming the decoder. It wasn't working the way I wanted it to. I couldn't figure out why. These are both Rapido locomotives, and apparently they don't use the same default programming as everybody else. So there were some settings that I had to go in and do some work on. Let's see if we get this derailed again. I believe the reason this is derailing is that the locomotive has a body-mounted coupler and the car has a truck-mounted coupler. And when the body-mounted coupler pushes against the truck-mounted coupler, it is pulling the car off of the layout. Usually going slowly helps prevent that, which that seemed to solve the problem there. So once I latch up, we'll be taking this north. So I will be kind of picking up the camera and moving it, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll edit those out, the picking up the camera part. Maybe I won't. I'm honestly not sure how well the stabilization works. I would think that it works pretty well on the camera, but yeah. You should be looking basically out the front right now. You'll see the camera on the front side of the image. If you've scrolled around and you're looking at me, I am definitely not where the action is happening. The action is definitely on the other side. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars, and I've got the 6 car card and waybills right here, so we will swap these around. So now they're in train order. Blow the horn just because I can, not that I needed to. There was absolutely no reason whatsoever. Let's try and pick this camera up and see if I can't move it somewhere more useful to kind of follow the train around. I've of course got things in the way, so I'm not sure how well some of this is going to work. We are going to come in on the yard lead. We're going to go onto the arrival departure track so that we can run around the train. And we're going to pick the camera up again and bring it up to this corner here. Train should be just coming into view in a second. Oh, looks like we got a little stutter on something over there. I think I definitely need to clean the wheels on all of these locos before the next op session. Especially this one, just because it's a newer set of locomotives that haven't been run. They're both running, just touching them to make sure. I don't know if this is going to be interesting or if this is just going to be weird. I tried to do this as a live stream because I thought it might be more interesting, interactive, so people can kind of ask questions, but they could also kind of, see what they wanted to see. But that didn't work out, unfortunately. So here we are, kind of doing it the old school, record it and maybe edit it, maybe don't edit it. So where I'm putting the camera right now, the train is going to come in from the right side of the screen, I guess it is. We're going to come onto this arrival departure track here. We'll have the locomotive escape around to the outside, and then we'll kind of keep going forward, I guess, because forward is a good direction to go in. And I just realized that 2 of the cars that I had car cards for actually belonged on the other side. The audio's probably coming in a little bit because I'm sometimes facing the camera, sometimes not facing the camera as I operate through these trains. Do have a lot of momentum set up on these trains, so I am using the brake for all of the switching. I personally really enjoy the brake. It's a feature that I like. Not everybody likes it, and I understand why, but it is definitely something that I enjoy. So I'm going to run around the outside, and I'm going to push these cars here onto track 2, just to basically get them out of the way, essentially. Oh, and I just did something that I do every once in a while, which is I just pushed the throttle to 8 instead of pushing the throttle to 0. Yes, I do even mess myself up when nobody is around to see my mistakes. I guess it's just kind of, I don't know. I guess I'm just lucky that way, right? Alright, so I've got this track done over here, far left where my hand is, as I'm running around. All of the cars on this track here are cars that are going off layout, so they're going they'll eventually be going up to Selkirk. All of the IRT cars are already down at the IRT facility, although I do need to go through and switch those. And what I've got here are my Manhattan cars that will need to go be switched down at Manhattanville. I do want to check that all of the Zone Track spot is correct for all of the industries, so I will check that out on at Croton on Hudson, which is over that way, just kind of behind me. If you kind of, I guess the thought is you just sort of pan around, follow the locomotives. I think that's probably the best way to navigate this live stream. I don't know. I don't know if it works or doesn't work, but we'll see. I'll post it up. People will, comment on it. They'll either like it or not like it. The reason I'm running the trains right now is I had a session this morning, and I'm having another session tomorrow evening, or afternoon, I guess, tomorrow afternoon. And in order to get ready for the session, I've got to restage the layout. So restaging the layout requires that the cars that need to go off the layout go off the layout, and cars that need to come on the layout will come on the layout. And the easiest way to do that is for me to run the trains. So that's what I am basically going to be doing probably for the next 4 or 5 hours. Probably not going to record all of it, but it's just kind of the way it is to get everything done. There's a good crew of operators this morning of varying degrees of experience. I feel like looking at kind of where things are on the north part of this yard, things up here are in pretty good shape. So it's just a matter of going through and doing some double checking, making sure things are, in the best order they can be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, I'll drop them on to here, and then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to drag these cars with me down towards Manhattanville on the yard lead. I'll run around on the yard lead back to the main line to head over to the Domino Sugar Plant, and I will double check the order of the cars at the Domino Sugar Plant. I do know there is one car out of order. Let's actually kind of take a look here. A couple of these are out of order a little bit, so I'll just want to work them back into spot order, and that shouldn't take too long. The way things are set up on this layout, I've got it worked out. Things kind of work. Things kind of make sense. Eventually, I think I should end up with about 30 cars on tracks 1 and 2, and we will swap those out with 30 cars up here at Selkirk. And this is basically how I bring new cars on the layout, is cars from Selkirk will get swapped out with new and or different cars, just to kind of keep things interesting. I mean, the reality is that everybody that's coming tomorrow, it'll be their first time here, so nobody will know if I have the exact same cars on my layout tomorrow. I will be the only person that knows, but I guess it's my layout, and I don't know, it's what I want to do. Some things you do on your layout, you're just doing for you, and that is kind of the reality of it. Oh, look at this. I just found a trip pin. It was stuck to one of the magnets. So somewhere on this layout right now, there is a car without a trip pin, but who knows where that might be. That could take months and months and months to find, or I could get lucky and spot it almost instantly. So we'll see how that goes. But that could be an interesting find. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna pick up, as I said, this cut of cars here. These are my Manhattanville cars. They are not in any specific order. My FW Web cars, of course, are spread out throughout. So what I should probably do is, while I'm here, I'm going to move all of the FW Web cars to the end of the train. Because if I move them to the end of the train, what that means is that it will make my life easier. And I'm all about making my life easier. I could do it out actually at the industry. That would absolutely be one way to do this. But I kind of feel like doing it here in the yard, it's a little simpler in some ways, just to get it done. So I am going over a magnet here, so I'm going to have to just basically push past the magnet. We'll stop the locomotives, and we'll need to bring them forward a touch to reset the coupler, and then head back against the car again to be able to pull that car out. This car here needs to be one of the cars on the end. So what I am going to do, actually, we're going to pull this is a little confusing. We're going to pull the cars out, except for this last guy, and we're gonna build them in the order that they need to be spotted in. So I'm gonna, in addition to kind of reworking them, I'm going to change the order just a bit. And I thought there would have been more Manhattanville cars, so I'm going to need to check it out. I guess a lot of the Manhattanville cars are being held in Manhattanville, which is a good thing. Kind of makes things interesting. The hold cars kind of switch per session. You don't really know which cars are going to be held, which cars aren't going to be held, so it kind of makes it, varies things a bit. Some cars just happen to take longer to unload than others, and they just, they need to be held for another session. So all of the hold cars will get pulled out before the next session, so that we, go back to, zero again, and then I'll, rework everything. So this Pacific Fruit Express car I'm going to put up here on the arrival departure track. The MDT car will need to go back on yard track 3. And then this Hydro Cushion cotton belt car will also need to go on track 3. So I'm going to need to do just a little shuffle back and forth as I do this. I guess I could put the car cards in as I do it. I am using the proto throttle. As I mentioned, I'm using momentum with braking. Just the way I like to do it. Slows things down. I guess the problem is that, resetting the layout like this definitely takes me longer than if I didn't have all the momentum set on the throttle, because I could just sort of, bang through everything really quickly. But yeah, I like it. It keeps me sane, keeps me from sitting in front of the TV and just watching TV all night. This way, I guess watching TV all night would be a good thing, or at least I would enjoy it. been watching some good TV shows lately, so definitely would enjoy finishing off some of those shows. But you know, we got work to do. Railroad is not going to run itself. Thought one of the cars kind of got caught up on something, so that guy is going to go there. And I don't know if you saw it, I did kind of flick it off the magnet. It's just so when I push all the cars back together, it's not over the magnet. I installed magnets because one of the regulars that operate here was really interested in having the magnets to use them. Haven't quite decided yet whether I think that was a good idea or not. I think on a lot of days I think it was a bad idea, but they actually work. They work really well. It's just whether, you know, whether I want to kind of, quote, deal with them at the time, I guess. I mean, what else am I going to do? Not deal with them? I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of the way it is, I guess. You know, you just gotta work your way through everything. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. So I'm going to drop these 3 cars up into the Cat Mountain car. Cat Mountain car is one of the Home Shops cars. Home Shops did come out with some N-scale cars, and this just happens to be one of them. So Cotton Belt car will go back here. We'll push all of these back. We'll pick up the front 3 cars. We'll put them in front of the back 3 cars. I know, I just said that, and I realized as I said it that I wasn't making a lot of sense, but I mean, nobody ever said I made a lot of sense. Alright. Using the touch screens to throw all of the turnouts. The tablets have been working pretty well. I do think I want to go back though and do some changes to them. There are some elements to them that could be improved upon. So, you know, eventually I'll definitely get to it and take care of that. But for now, we're just gonna make it happen. So if I did this right, it should pull away. Oh, and I guess I didn't catch it right. I thought I was over the magnet. I wasn't. Sounds like one of the trains still had the brake going. The brake on the proto throttle is kind of interesting. Like, I feel like sometimes I take the brake off and the control system doesn't recognize that I've taken the brake off. A similar thing happens with the direction switch. Sometimes I'll throw the direction switch and I feel as if the command station does not recognize that the direction switch is thrown. It's a little bit of an inconvenience. You just gotta kind of, you know, move it. If you recognize it, just move it back and forth on the proto throttle, and it fixes it right away and gets you back up and running. Of course, it'd be great if that didn't ever happen, but you know, this is model railroading, so I guess there is a certain level of finickiness that we're willing to deal with. There were some derails and stuff today that I wish didn't happen, but I think a lot of them are just kind of the nature of the truck-mounted couplers and N-scale and going backwards. Nobody seemed to complain about them too much. I am going to send out an email early next week just asking for feedback, asking for thoughts, just to kind of, you know, see what was kind of an important thing that people saw that I needed to improve. I always do want to improve things. I'm definitely always overthinking things. That's definitely for sure. So we're going to back up here, and then we'll move the camera again as we go across the layout to the area kind of in between Manhattanville and the Croton Harmon Yard. And we'll drop these cars, and then we'll do a little bit of reordering cars, making sure everything gets to the correct spot. Oh, I just threw a turnout I shouldn't have thrown. All I need to do is go forward. I don't need to turn any turnouts. So I've moved the proto throttle. Now what is behind the camera, I'm gonna move the camera now, and the reason I'm gonna move the camera now is because when the train comes around this corner here, I do have the squealer set up, so we'll probably hear a little bit of a squeal going on, which is always kind of fun, I guess. At least it's fun for me. So yeah, looks like I'm looking at FW Web. Looks like all the off-spot cars are holds, and I just need to pull the two that are in the industry, so that'll be these back couple of cars. But I do need to reorder this track here, which is the on Hudson track, so we are going to pull the flag. I've checked with the warehouse manager. They don't have anything hooked up to the cars or anybody working inside the box cars at the moment, so I am not worried about pulling that flag. But that is in general the purpose of those blue flags, just to make sure that nobody is back there working. I wouldn't want to injure anybody by accident. I'm not sure why it's happening, but when I throw the brake, it seems to kill the sound. I'm sure it's like some setting that I have in the system. If you're looking at the backdrop, if you swing around to the other side, you'll see where I'm working the train right now. Again, this should be an Insta360 360 degree video. A lot of it you probably won't be useful, and it'll just be, looking at the sky and looking at various different things. Oh, that shouldn't have stopped. I don't know why you're stopping here. We are going to come back on this track now, and I need to throw that switch. So right now we'll come back, we'll pull all these cars out, and we will start the sorting process. This car here, if you're looking towards the backdrop again, we're looking at the tank cars. The car I'm pointing at right here is car number 8. So this car actually needs to go all the way in the back there. So we will need to reorder that. I wanted to try these locos out, both because they are Rapido locomotives, and just because I hadn't run them before. I think a lot that I really wanted to kind of get my own opinion on them. So I think in general, having your own opinions always a good thing. So I'm going to use this track here as kind of my, working track. And, looks like it did come apart. I thought that wasn't connected right. So I got to dump these off first so that I can get this guy into spot 8. So we'll just start working things now. Let's do a little turn of the camera. I don't know if that's worse or better, or this is really my first time kind of recording one of these on the 360 camera, so Not really sure how it's going to look or turn out. So we're just trying things. I'm curious, it seems to say that it's been recording for 1:12. So I'm guessing there are a couple of different files, or that it's, you know, creating multiple files, I guess. All right, so let's back this guy up. And we're going to back almost everything up, and then we'll come on, trains. We'll back everything up, and then we'll pull forward, and we'll get that that number 8 car out of there. So this is the number 8 car right here. So that guy needs to go back in there first. So let's put that guy in there. Actually, both of these cars, this is number 8 and this is number 7, so we'll be able to push both of those in there, and then kind of forget about them from there on. So that's kind of good news, I guess, right? Momentum's nice because I can, you know, put the train into idle and just kind of let it roll, and then keep my hand on the brake so that it's in place when I want to stop it. The next 2 cars after I set these 2 are going to be the 2 at the very back of this this little working track here. So I just need to make sure that I clear enough so that I can get back onto that other track. But I do try and stay on the straight portion of this track here. If I stay on the straight portion, it'll couple up a lot easier. Once we get a little further onto the curve, they won't couple up. So this way, I'll couple them as they go back, which will be kind of a good thing. Alright, so we're going to come back, we're going to pick these up, and we will drop the last 2 cars, 497, 6719. Oh, gotta go back a little further. Jump the gun a little bit. Okay, hook those up. Now we'll pull back again. This is what switching is. I happen to enjoy it. I find it kind of relaxing, just the back and forth. It's a little, can be a little repetitive. I like to think about it as kind of a binary exercise in a way. You're dealing with ones and zeros. You're either on or you're off, and you're just sort of aligning the ones and the zeros in their appropriate places. And for me, that's something I very much enjoy. So we'll stop that here, switch again, and push back. Again, we're just going to drop these 2 cars. It actually goes these 2, and then the next car is this Domino's box car. So we'll need to... Nope, that's not true. Then wait. These were out of order. Hold on. This may be easier than I think. 5, 4, 3. And the only thing I still need to flip are these first 2 cars. The Miranda car goes behind the Gilbert car. So we will we'll cut those there, and we'll swap these 2 cars. And then that will be this this industry all set in order, and we'll make our way down to FW Web. FW Web is an actual plumbing factory that is in Manhattanville. It is an elevated platform. The picture that I have that's representing FW Web is a picture of the actual platform as it looks today. While I know that that's not, I guess prototypical for the time of this layout, I like it. It's very colorful, very interesting to me. So my layout, that's what I'm doing. At some point, I'll probably build that out as like an actual building. Right now, it's just a printed piece of paper, which I mean that's a good place to start, right? I've been very happy with how well things couple and uncouple. I've actually kind of been pretty surprised by how well N-Scale couples and uncouples. Even with the truck-mounted couplers. I've had a couple people, tell me the first thing you need to do is swap to truck-mounted couplers, that's something important to do. Especially in N-Scale, especially in a switching layout with a lot of reverse moves, a lot of pushing of cars. But I've been enjoying the ease in which most things are working for me. So we're just going to push this back. We're going to hold this here, and we are going to go grab the last tank car. There are 8 cars on this spur. When I first did all of my ops schemes, there were only 4 cars on this spur, but what I did is I ended up buying the Microtrains suite tanker cars, single dome tanker cars, which haul molasses, and I'm guessing probably some corn syrup and stuff as well. But those cars look really nice with all of my sort of sweet factory stuff. So I've got the Domino's cars, I got the the sweet dome cars, and I do also have some other various Hershey cars. The idea being that this my phone's going off. The idea being that this is a sugar plant, and it is going to be receiving in some raw materials, aka the molasses, and it'll be exporting out in boxcars, some various sugar products, or possibly in some of the Hershey cars, even actual, Hershey bars and various other chocolate products. So we'll finish this move off, and we'll push these all the way back into the hole as far as they will go, and then we'll move on to Manhattanville. And this is kind of just the game, right? You just kind of keep working it one section at a time, working your way through all the different jobs. The way the layout is set up is we focus on all of the loaded cars first, classifying the loaded cars, getting them to the correct yard, and then getting them out to the various industries. Once the loaded cars are classified and we kind of know where everything's going, then we focus on pulling cars from the industries that are empty, that need to get out of the way, so that the loaded cars can then get to the industries. And then after that, we will start working on getting the empties off the layout, or I should say, off the short line, so that the next set of loaded cars have space to come onto the layout. So we're gonna pull forward, and the last thing we'll do is put this flag in. Once this flag goes in, we'll let the warehouse foreman know that we're done moving the cars, and they don't have to worry about their workers working around the cars, because we are not going to move them. I think, is this where it goes? Yep, there we go. So flag is back in. So next step is we'll come around the corner here, and I'm going to move the camera. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to move the camera. Guess we'll put the camera right here. This is as good a spot as any. FW Web is right here, so we'll be working that area. And first things first, I got to hook back up to the train. There's like a lot of stuff in the way over here. I should just move it instead of tripping over it. As fun as tripping over things is, you know. Oh, and I've already made a mistake. Just so that I don't have to move the camera, we're going to go back, and I'm going to run the locomotive down this track here. Again, here's another flag, so we'll check in again with the warehouse foreman, make sure that nobody is working on any of the box cars, and we'll pull that flag out. So what I am actually going to do, and this may seem a little odd that I'm going to do it this way, but I'm going to grab all 6 of those cars, I'm going to pull them forward. The first 3 cars, which need to go to South Manhattanville, which in this direction is a facing point. I'm going to, the cars I'm picking up at FW Web, I'm going to end up putting in the middle of the train. That way, when I run around the train to work that area back there, the cars that I've picked up are not in the way, and I can just leave them on the train and just keep working. This is something that I've started doing very, very recently. I've kind of learned and figured out that by trying to think multiple moves ahead, I can save myself a lot of time and struggle. And I don't know why, but both of these I'm having problems getting across. It could be that the only area on the layout that still doesn't have the frogs wired is this area right here. So that could be why these locomotives are having a problem. I think once I clean the wheels, though, we'll probably be in good shape, because I didn't notice any problems over here at all today during the session with the locomotives that they were running. So I don't know, my assumption, right or wrong, is that it's probably specific to these locomotives. So, and they stopped again. Yeah, I think what's just happening is one of the locomotives hits the frog and kind of drops power to it, and then the other locomotive's just not quite strong enough to pull it over the dead spot. So we're pulling everything forward just so I don't have to go, too far back. Always thinking of saving gas. I don't know if that's something that real engineers or conductors actually think about, but as I'm making the moves, I'm kind of thinking a little bit about how much gas or how many moves I'm making to try and simplify the movements as much as possible. I don't know, maybe it's just something I'm doing that I don't need to do, but I like thinking about it. It gives me gives me another sort of element to think about is, you know, the time is money, fuel is money, all those things cost money, so by keeping the operations as tight as I possibly can, it just means that we're making the most money that we can for the company, because the more money in the CEO's pocket absolutely helps me none. But, you know, just hit the frog, and we're actually across two frogs right here. So I think I see what's happening. That was my mistake. I had thrown the reverser too soon, and then it wouldn't let me, come on. Let's go, little locomotives. Not a project I'm going to do before tomorrow, but looks like high on the list is getting these frogs powered up. I don't really know why I haven't done it yet. I think partially it's just that I didn't remember that I had to do it, which I guess is a good enough reason. Yeah, I definitely think this locomotive died when it hit that frog. I wonder if it's just that front locomotive that's doing it. Oh, and something just shorted. I'm definitely getting a little tired. I've been down in this room since about 7:30 this morning. It's about 5:30 right now. So I feel myself getting a little jumpy, a little agitated with some things. You know, when things don't run perfectly, just means the list is getting longer, but at the end of the day, is part of model railroading is just, you know, working through the list, checking things off. There we go. And so now these three cars need to go into FW Web. So we'll make that happen. And then we need to run around so that we can work the other end of the train, which is the other half of Manhattanville. There is obviously a runaround here in this town, which, you know, usually works out pretty well. Just need to clear that switch. Now we're gonna reverse back in, and we'll drop these off. I think what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to stop the cars right about here, and I'm going to delay the coupler, which kind of means you're offsetting the coupler so that it's not coupled. They're just kind of pushing against each other. And what that enables me to do is once I'm back here and I'm kind of lots of indoor weathering, aka dust. Once the cars are back here, it just means I don't have to reach in there and potentially knock something over, which I can probably guarantee you I would absolutely do. So I'm going to try and avoid it. Oh, there we go again. Little hiccup there. And now we're going to try and jet off into the other direction. There we go. We've left those three cars, and I didn't have to touch anything. except for the locomotives, to get them out of this area. It's kind of a bummer I'm having that problem right now. I'm not 100% sure why we're going through that struggle, but my plan is to try and get as much turned around as I can tonight, so that tomorrow morning I have as little to do as possible. And you know, maybe I'll even do a little sleeping in tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these cars onto this track back here, and then I will run around them on the other track, just so that the cars are all basically on the cars will be on the track they need to be on. That's what I'm trying to say. The theory being is that it'll make my life a little bit easier. We'll see if that's actually true or not, but that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm going to leave the camera here until I get around it, and then we'll take the camera and we'll flip it back in the other direction. We don't want to forget to put our flag back, if I can find the hole where the flag went in. Again, protecting the cars so that they are safe for people to work on and not have to worry about any of the locomotives coming and affecting the work that they're doing. So I just have to make sure whoever does this Manhattanville job tomorrow does not have those locomotives, because otherwise it'll be a long day for me. So again, these two cars back here need to go back to the north yard. These three cars here are loaded. They are going to go into the facilities behind me there, and I do need to, of course, pull out two cars in the very, very back, as well as the very first car. So I have three cars to put back, or three loaded cars to fit in there, and I've got three empty cars to come out. So we're just going to gently, I hope that was somewhat gentle. We'll find out at some point. And of course I'm going to be in my own way in a second, but that's okay. We'll deal with that when we get there. So we're going to drop these here, and if you look behind us now, behind the camera, you'll be able to see that I've cleared the little runaround or the turnouts over there, so I'll be able to get around everything. And again, we got to pull the flag here, because we're going to be working back in that area. Ran that a little far, but you know. So we'll come back as we go by. I'll need to pick up the camera just so that the locomotives can pass under and get back around to the other side. Technically along this track there are actually three different industries, three different customers, I guess you can say. Eventually there'll be different buildings here, and this whole area will be built out, and I want to have cobblestones and stuff here, kind of like an old New York City street. Obviously I don't have those in there now, but they will eventually be there. And when I say eventually, you know, check back in 4 or 5 years. Unless there's somebody that's really into cobblestones that wants to come join me at my layout and help me out. and do some scenery. I already have the cobblestones, so it's just a matter of, I guess, you know, figuring out everything in this corner. Alright, so the two cars I need to pull are in the back. The other car I need to pull is in the front. Lucky me. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this car first. Oh, and I forgot to throw the switch that I needed to throw. So the train, the locomotive back on the other side is not going down the right track. So we need to fix that. And now we've thrown the switch. So now it should come back. So if you come back around to the front, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this 923 PFE car and push it off to the side. Then we'll pull everything out and we'll take those two last cars and we'll push them off to the side. And then we'll figure out which two cars go in the back, and we will we'll get those two cars back there somehow. Looks like the two cars that go in the back are actually these two right there, so that's a good sign. It means we got the right cars in the right spot. And we're just going to make a gentle hitch, hopefully. And we'll pull everything forward and then cut this car closer to the end. Again, just saving a little bit of fuel on the moves. Stretching her out. I always think it's interesting when this happens. These two are PFE cars. Here's another PFE car. It's always interesting to me when they kind of like gang up together all in the same spot. It is just kind of happens sometimes. I don't know, you know, not necessarily planned that they come together. A lot of the ops on this layout is random, and by random I mean that we're doing a lot of LCL shipments. So these box cars both came from different facilities off layout, but they're both LCL, and they both came in and just happened to both go to the same terminal to be unloaded. So I guess it's kind of a cop-out to say everything on the layout's LCL, but definitely makes so to say. I think the battery on this camera is dying. Yeah, we're getting close to the battery dying, so I don't know if it cuts out. Thanks for watching. Maybe I'll actually be able to get through this before the camera completely dies, but you know, I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. But we'll, you know, if people like this video, we'll do more. If people don't like this video, we'll never do this again. Or maybe we'll do it again just because I like, you know, talking to myself in a room with nobody else here, and I don't know, my neighbors probably think like, who's the crazy guy talking to himself, rambling about nonsense. But you know, that's how I live. That's how I work. As long as I still see the light flashing, I'll keep talking. You're probably all just saying, just stop talking. Let's just listen to the locomotives. It really is actually pretty incredible how good the sound is on the locomotives. These Rapidos, the way they're programmed, they don't, the engines don't really ramp up like some of the other ones do, and I don't really know why, but it's, I don't know. Maybe I'll investigate at some point. So we're just gonna push all these back until we get to the Cat Mountain car. The Cat Mountain car is the car that needs to get pushed into the very back of this facility. It's the last. This car goes all the way in the hole. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm kind of curious what things are going to look like when and if I get scenery set up on this layout. It's not that I don't want to do the scenery. I guess I just feel like there's so many other things to do on the layout that I don't know. I'm definitely more into operations at this point, and I get, like, it'd be nice if these facilities were set up a little better, so you know got a little bit more of a sense of the facilities that you're loading into and stuff like that. Definitely make it kind of a more interesting op session to have more structures to look at, but this is where I'm at right now, so kind of the way things are going right now. I'm not going to push these all the way back. We're just going to do a little bit of a push just to clear them out of the, just clear them enough so that I can get the other cars past them. I do have all the clearance points marked, so I'm not guessing. I do actually know where they are. I did that a while ago just to